In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a full-fledged, full-stack application using Lovable.dev, n8n, and Supabase. This application is going to have functionality such as authentication, meaning somebody can sign up and log into their account. We're going to create that sign-in process and the authentication and store it on our Supabase account. And we're also going to utilize n8n to be able to upload files to our vector databases in our Supabase account. We're going to be able to delete the files all from the front end that we're going to create using Lovable, and we're also going to be able to chat with our application to retrieve information, essentially a RAG, which will have the Lovable user interface. This is going to be a very powerful application that you can build for your clients or for your own personal use case. Again, you can use this as an inspiration so that way you can build your own application. I'm going to go ahead and start with a demo so that way you can see that everything is working, that everything is connected together. And then we're going to go ahead and walk through step by step and show you exactly how to build this thing using Lovable for the front end, and then also how to store all of this information in our Supabase and our vector database. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my blank n8n canvas. So we're going to actually import my workflow here. So I'm going to go to my school community in the class section and right here. So I'm going to import this JSON template. So I'm going to download this, and then I'm going to come back to my n8n here, go to these three dots right here and click on import from file. And now I'm going to just import this file right here. All right, so everything got imported over. Again, this is going to add files to the vector database. This particular workflow right here is going to delete the file from Supabase, and this is where we're going to chat with our data or our files inside our vector database. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a demo first. Take a look at demo first. So I'm going to actually try to minimize this so that way you can see exactly what's going on. All right, let's bring this over here. Let's go back to our Lovable here. All right, because I just want to show you exactly what's going on. Oh wow, that's too small. We're going to first test this step where we're going to add our file to our vector database, and then we're going to go ahead and do the rest afterwards. So let's go ahead and first get started right here on the Lovable side. Actually, you know what? Let me actually log in first. I'll create an account here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to click on get started. So now here it says if you don't have an account, sign up, or if you already have an account, you can sign in just like a normal application would or a website would. So we're storing all of our authentication and profiles when a user creates an account right here on our Supabase table called profiles. As you can see, I already have one. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to create one if you don't have an account. So let me go ahead and put my password here so I can at least show you the demo. So I'm going to sign in. So now, as you can see, here I have the ability to upload files, PDF files, so that way I can interact with it, right? So let me go ahead and now go to the table so that way you can see on the files table, right now it's empty, right? The files table is empty, and then also the vectors data table is empty. So this is a table that's going to have the vector embeddings once we vectorize our documents. And I'm going to show you exactly that after we come back and upload our file, you'll see that there will be new vectors here from our files here. So let me go ahead and now minimize this or pull this on the side. Go right here. So I'm going to listen for my, what is the test workflow here? Test workflow. So now we're going to be listening for all of these webhooks that are coming in right here. So it should initiate this one, which means adding files to vector database as soon as I upload the file here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead right here. So I'm going to click on upload file. So I'm going to grab this Alex Carter's resume. So let me go ahead and upload that. So now, as you can see on the left-hand side, as you can see, there you go. Now it's being activated. So this initial workflow is being updated. This is updating the vector database. So it's going to vectorize the file, and it's going to upload this particular document into the vector database on our Lovable, our Supabase here. So now I'm in the vectors data table. So if I refresh the page, now you should be able to see some data in there because we just uploaded the file. So if I refresh the page, now we should be able to see the embedding files. There you go, right? Name Alex Carter, contact. So this is just Alex Carter's resume. We can add more files later on, but you can see everything got uploaded. And if we go to the files tab right here, so now we'll be able to see that we have a new file right here, alexcarter.pdf. That's exactly the file that we uploaded, right? So now we're going to interact with this file from our Lovable front end, right? So we're just going to click on chat with files now. And now we should be able to chat with this document through our vector database. So let me go ahead and pull up, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let me actually go ahead and pull up this Alex Carter's resume. So, all right, so here we go. So this is Alex Carter's resume, right? So right now, let's see, let's take a look. Let's ask this to see where did Alex Carter go to college, right? So it should say University of California at Berkeley. So if we have everything set up properly, then we should be able to grab that. All right. So let me now zoom in a little bit here so that way you can see that now this AI agent should be activated, right? So now you'll see that I'm going to click on test workflow and it will be listening for this right here. So that way when we interact with this document from our front end, it should be able to grab and activate this workflow, and the AI agent will be retrieving this information from our Supabase vector database. So I'm going to click on test workflow. So let's go ahead and now create a new chat. And I'm going to say, where did Alex Carter go to college, right? Something like this. So now if I press enter, so now it should reach out to our webhook here. There you go. The AI agent gets activated. It retrieves the information from our Supabase vector database. And now it's going to respond back to the front end here, right here. It says Alex Carter attended the University of California, Berkeley, where he earned a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science. And if you pull that up, that's exactly correct, right? So he attended computer science and, or he attended California, Berkeley, and received a degree in Bachelor's in Computer Science. So perfect, everything worked. So now let's test this workflow where we'll be able to delete this file from our Supabase vector database, right? So now let's go ahead and go back to our files. So now I should be able to click on delete, and this should initiate this process and delete our file from our vector database and all of the vector data here as well. So let's go ahead and test that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and click on test workflow again, and you should see this gets initiated and everything is correct. So I'm gonna click on delete. There you go, that got initiated, it deleted it, the workflow. So now if we go ahead and take a look at it right here, refresh the page, and perfect, it says this table is empty, right? So it deleted all of the vectors from that vector database. And the reason why this is important is because you don't want to re-vectorize, right? So you want to be able to have the ability to delete the file, and then when you're uploading something different, you should be able to vectorize that again. So that's why this is very important to have this particular step in there as well. All right, so now that you have seen this, so let me maximize this right here. So again, we'll have the first one is going to be adding to Supabase vector database. We're going to vectorize the document. The second one is deleting it from Supabase. And the third one is for us the ability to chat with this document. All right, so let's go back to our lovable.dev now and take a look at what's going on here and how this was created. So let me actually go back to my auth here. Actually, I'm just going to sign out and start from the beginning. Sign out. All right, so this is, just a UI, and you can use ChatGPT or Claude to be able to create any kind of UI, and I'm going to show how to do that. But just quickly, what's happening here is like we're creating the front end UI, and when you click on get started, you have the ability to sign up, create a new account, or log in, right? So that's what's happening here. And again, all of the authentication will be stored in our Supabase that I'm going to show in a little bit. All right, so let me quickly go over and show you how simple it is to nowadays build a full stack application with Lovable. Lovable.dev is great. It's actually one of my favorite platforms out there, but there's Curses and others, but I like using Lovable a lot. So essentially this right here, we're giving it the initial instruction to create our front end right here. So the way to do this is literally you can just take a screenshot of whatever file you have, right? You can take this, upload this to a ChatGPT or a Claude and say, hey, I want to create the attached app. Please provide, actually, I'm just going to attach the app using Lovable lovable.dev. Please provide the prompt. So you can again play around and take a look at the different sections that you want to create. This is just an example. You can literally just copy this and paste it on Lovable now. It's very easy to sign up for Lovable. Lovable has great free accounts. You can get started there. And as soon as you come in, you just right here on the left hand side, you can have an interaction with this app and go back and forth between the preview, and once it creates something, if it runs into any kind of error, you can always chat back and forth with it just like you would in a normal ChatGPT, for example, right? So it's a really great no code way to create any application, a website, an app, a full stack app in our case, and everything else that you can do. So that's literally what we did right here. Went to ChatGPT, say, hey, I want to create something like this. Copy the prompt from ChatGPT, add it here, and that's how you get started, right? So it says, okay, I'll help you create stunning hero section, the following modern design. So again, if you don't like any of these, you can change it, and once it creates it, if you don't like it, you can go back and forth with it, right? So it's the same idea right here. So once it created the first one, it says, I've created a beautiful and responsible hero section with elegant animation, premium design, blah, blah, blah. So now you're like, okay, well, the CTA and sign up buttons are not clickable, right? So because obviously once it creates the front end, a lot of times the buttons are not going to work. So you same thing, just go back and forth. You test everything one step at a time, and you say, okay, well, right now I'm clicking on sign up button. It's not working. So you say, all right, fix this, and it will go ahead and implement that, right? And then afterwards, same thing. Now, once you're done with this, once everything is clickable, and once you are satisfied with the UI, so the next step is to be able to connect your Supabase to Lovable. Now the great thing is that Lovable already has a connection with Supabase, so now it's very, very simple to do. You literally, again, I said, please connect my Supabase project to, because that's the project that I already have inside my Supabase. So make sure you have a project that you have already created. So this is the name that we're grabbing, right? So we're putting that literally right here. And if you want to know how to connect your Lovable to Supabase, the account, like you can literally go to YouTube and search. So they have, this is their channel, Lovable. So they have several videos on how to, that they show you how to connect your Lovable to your Supabase account, introduction to Supabase. This is a good one. So there are a lot of really great guides if you want to do something in particular with your Lovable and Supabase account. As far as the connection goes, you can certainly do that. But essentially, I followed that instruction and I said, please connect my Supabase project Lovable, which is the name right here, as you can see, to this particular app. So now same thing, I'm now connecting to your Supabase project to gather database, structural tables, and security setting, right? So that's what you're doing. You're just going back and forth with this. So afterwards, it's like, oh, the CTA and sign up button is not clickable. Make both buttons clickable, create an app and sign in, blah, blah, blah. You just go back and forth with it till everything is properly working, right? So now it will give you the SQL data, and then it will ask you to approve this. And once it's good to go, you can go ahead, all right, and say everything looks good, go ahead and run. So once you're going back and forth, and once everything is done, so now you'll be able to add everything to your account. And now once that is connected to your Supabase account, so the way to actually add the authentication to your n8n here, because this is the important part, right? Like we need to be able to add all of this and connect it to our Supabase account, and then also to our Lovable account via our webhook here. So I've done plenty of tutorials on how to connect webhooks, but essentially you create a node called, or you create the webhook node, and then this is the URL that you're going to post and add to your Supabase account, and then also to your Lovable application when you're creating it. And the way to do that is literally you just copy this, right? You go, again, same thing, you just go back and forth with it. So at the end I said the webhook URL in the chat with files edge function has been updated. Oh, sorry, this is what I did. So I just changed the webhook URL from this to this, which is basically going from test to production, but it just shows you how easy it is to add that. So once you are ready, once everything is good to go on your side, you just basically say, okay, now add for me the ability to interact with my n8n backend via this particular webhook, right? And then once you do that, then you can start testing it out, and you'll be able to receive information back and forth between your Lovable and your n8n. Again, I'm planning to do more tutorials on this and make a bit more simpler app, so that way you know how to build these things. So now after you do that, another important thing is to connect your Supabase account also via webhook, so that way it has that interaction back and forth. So the way to do that is you go to integrations, and you add this database webhooks. So if it's not already installed, you literally just click on it and get it installed. Once you have this installed, you will head over, and next to the overview it says webhooks. So next to webhooks, this is where you will add two webhooks, one webhook to upload file and another webhook to delete file, right? And this is because we have two. So right here we have this first one that we're going to be able to upload our file to our vector database, and another one that we're going to be deleting files from Supabase. And this is all done via our webhook because the command is going to be coming in from our Lovable front end. So therefore, we need to be able to give the Supabase the ability to interact with this webhook as soon as we receive the command from our Lovable front end, right? So the way to do that is very simple. You'll click on create new webhook or create new hook. You give it a name, and then you also add, so let me go back so this has more data. If I click on edit hook, yep. So you create the name, upload file, the tables, you select the tables that you would create on your Supabase. And again, I've done a step-by-step tutorial on how to create the files in your Supabase account, so please make sure you watch that. It's also inside my school community, so if you have any questions, feel free to jump in and ask that question in one of the calls. Or you can put your questions in the Ask and Assist channel always as well. All right, so once you, so right here, once you add the name, select the table files, you'll select the method as post, and this is where you'll add your URL, right? So this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm grabbing literally this URL right here and putting it in my HTTP request method right here. So once you're done, you will have both of these webhooks that are working now, and this should be able to interact now back and forth from Lovable to n8n back to Supabase, right? So that's why this is such an important part right here. And then also another important thing is like when you sign up, right? So right now, as you can see, it says sign in, but let's go ahead and sign up with the new account. Okay, so I'm going to click on sign up, and if I go back to my Lovable or my Supabase here, so let's go ahead and take a look at the tables, table editor, and here are the profiles. So right now there's only one profile. It's just my email right here. So now you will see that I'm going to sign up and we'll be able to add a new profile right here. So I'm going to say jacksmith@gmail.com, right? All right, whatever. We're not going to authenticate it, or we're not going to use this. So I'm just going to put whatever. So if I click on sign up, now when we go back and refresh this should be able to add another one right here. If I click on sign up, says loading. Check your email to confirm your account. So this, again, that's another thing. You also can add a authentication to confirm the email, so that way it's not just some bot, right? So now if I refresh the page right here, refresh the page, and perfect, there you go. This just got added, right? So that's exactly what we're doing here. This is where we're storing all of the profiles, so that way we remember all this information. So next time when a person comes in to our account right here in the front end, they'll be able to log in with their account, right? So that's what this does. Let me get rid of all this. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and actually sign in to my existing account. Boom, it's fine. All right, so now I'm logged in. I'm going to go ahead and click on upload file. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you exactly what happens, kind of a niche node, and show you how to kind of grab that information that's coming in from Lovable. So let's go ahead and upload a file. Actually, you know what? I'm going to listen for test first. I'm going to click on test workflow here. So that way this thing is listening. Now, if I go back to Lovable here and click on upload file. So this time we're going to upload Jordan Smith's resume. Okay. So if I bring in Jordan Smith's resume, Jordan Smith right here, we're going to interact and ask him the same question like we did earlier during the demo about the education. So let's go ahead and upload Jordan Smith's resume here. Get rid of this. Upload Jordan Smith's resume. All right, that's uploading. So now this should be initiated. There you go. That got initiated. So now this should go ahead and vectorize that, add it to Supabase vector database, and perfect. That's done. So if we go back to our Lovable, there you go. That file is there. Now let's check our Supabase. Refresh the page. So this should have vector data now. Hopefully, unless I did something wrong. Let that load for a second. It's taking unusually long. All right, there you go. Perfect. Name Jordan Smith, contact, blah, blah, which means that it uploaded the proper documentation. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at our n8n and see what's going on here. So we'll bring this up here. I'm going to zoom in just on this section because this is what we're doing, which is adding files to vector database. So we're going to click on webhooks. So what's happening right here is all of this information from the front end is coming into this webhook. And as you can see, the information that's being added here is that file. So it has its particular ID, it has the name, the size, and the type, which is application/PDF, right? And it has its own unique identification. So now the way to interact, or the way to have Lovable interact to your n8n is very, very simple. You literally copy this, you go to Lovable, and you just say essentially, hey, I want to be able to interact with n8n via the following webhook, right? Webhook, if I can post this. And you're gonna paste that webhook. I don't know why I didn't paste, but anyways, yeah, right here. Probably didn't copy it. Yep, and now once you press enter here, so this should be able to now interact with your entire application. I don't want to do that right now because otherwise, like, it's gonna ruin kind of the entire application. But I already did this up here. So if I scroll up, I think it was somewhere around here. There you go. Yeah. So I said now create an edge function to connect with n8n webhook to send the chat query and receive response to show the chat reply and interface. So this was for the chat portion, but it's the same thing. You say pass the session ID to user with the query webhook URL right here, right? So same thing. And if you run into kind of issues, you just go back and forth with Lovable and say, hey, I'm running into this error, fix this, right? Or if something else happens, you just kind of go back and forth till it will figure out exactly what you want. So essentially that's how you interact with your n8n from the back end. So once you receive this information, so what's happening in this step is that now we're grabbing that information, we're grabbing this file, and we're gonna grab all of the existing rows that are inside on our table here. So you want to make sure you're identifying. Again, if you don't know how to use Supabase, please watch my previous video, not this particular previous video right before this one, but I did a few videos back where I go through it step by step and show you how to add and how to connect your Supabase to your n8n. And there's plenty of other tutorials on YouTube as well. I think Cole did a great tutorial on this one. So there's plenty of tutorials out there on how to add and connect your Supabase account to your n8n. But essentially, we're grabbing the files here, or the rows here, and from that particular account, now we're going to use this HTTP request because I want to download the file that just got uploaded to our Supabase account. So right here, as you can see from the previous node, right, we're grabbing that information, which is that file, Jordan Smith resume.pdf that got uploaded. So we need to now be able to download that from our Supabase table, and therefore, so we can add this to our Supabase vector database. Those are two different things. Remember, when somebody's adding a table from the front end in Lovable, because that's directly connected to our Supabase account, so that gets added to the table. So now what we're doing is we're retrieving that information, or we're retrieving that file via this webhook or via this HTTP request, which again is just directly reaching out to Supabase's storage, right? This is their API path to grab that file and download it, and that's exactly what we're doing. And again, it's very simple. You just set up your authentication, you hit this endpoint, and this will grab that data that just got uploaded, and it's going to download it right here. So this got downloaded now. The next thing, we're just going to add an extract file. So we're going to extract all the information from this file, and then we're just adding this to our vector database, right? So make sure you select the proper table, which in our case is our vectors data table. So if I go back right here, this is that vectors data table that I have inside my Supabase. So once you grab that information and upload, so now we're inserting this documentation that we grabbed from this HTTP request from our table, and we're vectorizing it, right? So same thing. This is a very simple process. We're just going to use the default data loader. We're just going to grab the file path because we're using a metadata here. So we're grabbing that information, we're uploading it to our vector database, we're chunking it, and we're going to add a response to webhook. This is just a simple one. So you choose response to webhook and you select the response or respond with the first incoming item. So that way, kind of this loop gets closed, right? So that's how you can add your information. And the reason why, again, this webhook is important inside your n8n is because that's how you're communicating back and forth, right? So that's that step. That's what's happening. So now the second step is deleting this. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. And now I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So let me listen for this again. So I'm going to click on test workflow. So now if I click on delete, oh, go through. Oh yeah, there you go. It went through, it deleted it. So same thing. We're grabbing that information. We're grabbing the information that's coming in from our Lovable through this webhook. We're deleting the row inside that table inside our vector database using this metadata, right? Because we want to be able to use and identify which exact row to delete. And we're going to respond back. Limit just means just because you're limiting it to one item, so you don't want to delete more than one, and responding back. Very, very simple. So same thing. Now, if we want to be able to chat with this, right, because it's already there. Oh, I actually already deleted it. Let me add it again. So now I'm going to add this again. Go file, Jordan Smith resume. Okay, uploading. So now this should initiate again. There you go. Perfect. So same process. I just mistakenly deleted it. But now let's go ahead and test this step, right? So now we should be able to interact with this. So I'm going to delete this test workflow. So now I should be able to chat with the files here. So I'm going to do new chat. I'm going to say, where did Jordan Smith go to college? So I'm going to press send, and now it's loading. So now it's going to reach out to the AI agent. The AI agent is going to reach out to the vector database, the Supabase vector database, and respond back to our webhook, right? So you're responding back. There you go. Jordan Smith attended the Community College of San Francisco, where they earned an associate degree in computer science. So let's double check now. This is his resume. Education, associate degree in computer science, Community College of San Francisco. Perfect, right? So it means that we are interacting with the proper data, with the proper documents. So now let's go back to our n8n. So let's see what's going on here. Same thing. So now in this webhook, we're sending, so let me go to JSON here. We're sending actually the message that the user is sending, right? So we need to send that question or that query to this AI agent so it can process it. So again, that came through here. Where did Jordan Smith go to college? So now if I go back here, inside my AI agent, I'm literally grabbing that JSON.body.message, which again is coming in from right here. So this is the message that's coming in, and I'm just putting it right here. And I'm just saying you're a helpful assistant. Your job is to answer query using getInfo tool. GetInfo tool is coming in from this left-hand side right here. So now, the getInfo tool is our answering question with vector store. This is the tool that we added, right? So again, we're going to add our Postgres chat memory. Same thing, you're going to grab the table inside your Supabase. Again, so you should make sure that you're creating this n8n chat table, so that way you're connecting that. So that's what's happening here. So on our Postgres chat, we're just grabbing that session ID, so that way we can respond to that message properly. And then on our answer and question chain, so this is just, we're naming the data, we're naming this answer and question with the vector store get info, and we're saying use this tool to retrieve information from the vector store. Very, very simple. So that's why in the system message here, we said using the get info tool, right? So make sure the two names match here. So this is reaching out to Supabase vector database. And again, as far as the user ID, we're grabbing the user ID from the webhook, right? Because we need to be able to have that seamless interaction. So this is where that user ID is coming from right here. User ID, right? Okay. Sorry, that's session ID. User ID is right here. And if you run into, problems, you can always just take a screenshot, put it on ChatGPT or Claude, and you can go back and forth and it will fix those things for you. So that's how when I run into an issue, I just grab that screenshot, add it to my custom ChatGPT that I created for my community, and n8n architect. So that way it gives me a bit more precise data. So that's how you can kind of communicate there. But anyway, so once you grab that information, the output, as you can see, Jordan Smith attended Community College of San Francisco. This is sending it back to the webhook, and you're just grabbing that information, sending it back out to Lovable right here, and it will respond properly. So that's exactly what's happening here. Nothing too complicated. Again, to connect to your Supabase, It's very simple. You just click on this button if you want to watch kind of a tutorial. Right here, this is a good one on Lovable's channel. Isaac, I believe he did like a really good job of explaining how to do this. He creates like a full stack app as well, so make sure you watch that, because he'll show you exactly how to build or connect your Lovable to your Supabase. Obviously, he doesn't have the n8n portion, but that's why I walked through on the n8n step by step, so you see exactly what's going on here. All right, well, hopefully you found this helpful. Sorry if it was not too much step by step, because otherwise that would have taken like 6 hours to create this video. But again, the great thing about the whole point I was trying to portray here is that you start here from your ChatGPT, whatever app you want to build, and you just go back and forth with Lovable. If you run into any issues, if you run into errors, it's really good at resolving those things. And then same thing with the webhook. You tell Lovable to send all the information, the communication back and forth via the webhook, and you're grabbing this webhook URL from your n8n and you're connecting it to your Supabase account. Anyways, I'll be doing a lot more of these. So again, if this was too complicated, I'm planning to do more videos, especially for my school community, to kind of show you how to just start easy, just connecting a webhook from Lovable to your AI agent or to your workflow, so that way you can get started. But this is a good idea. I just wanted to showcase first what's possible with these tools now, so that way you can see what you can build, and then later on we'll go ahead and create kind of simpler versions of these, so that way you know exactly how to connect these different tools together to build a very powerful application. And again, this is a very simple kind of chat with your documentation, but you can imagine the whole concept that now you can build even more powerful application, because you can have Supabase, which is your whole like powerful data source, authentication. You can save everything there, and all the communication can go back and forth between your n8n and your Lovable via a webhook, right? So you can see this could be very powerful, and you can build a lot of great stuff with it. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you found it helpful, and I will be doing a lot more of these, so make sure you subscribe and like the video, because there's a lot of great content coming up. And again, if you were serious about learning how to build amazing AI agents, make sure you join our AI workshop community, because we have a great set of individuals and people who are passionate about learning how to utilize n8n to make money, improve their lives, improve their businesses, and much, much more. I'm going to put the link in the description for both this, for the Lovable. Make sure you sign up for the account, and thanks for watching again. I'll see you on the next one.